The Cavs and Clippers hilariously played right after their big trade, and two trade debutantes played for the Cavs in this game, plus many trades to talk about throughout the night. The Wolves finally win in Toronto. The Nuggets and Knicks go to double overtime. You'll get it all today on Locked On NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's the trade deadline day, and welcome to Locked On NBA Game Night. We have a lot to get to. 7 games did, in fact, actually get played on Wednesday night, despite a lot of player movement, some hilarious many two-way players playing because their teams traded away many players. 2 trade debutantes for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nikola Jokic looks like he got hurt, and then he didn't, and that game goes to double overtime. The Wolves finally win in Toronto, and like half the league apparently got traded. Not really, but it felt like it. I got so many trade notifications on Wednesday. I'm Tony East. I host Locked On Pacers, and joining me once again, the dynamic Wednesday duo, 3 weeks in a row, Ryan Blackburn from Locked On Nuggets. The Nuggets lost tonight. Ryan, how are you?
I'm good, Tony. It was an unfortunate Nuggets loss. They've lost 3 in a row, but I mean, at least the injury luck's really getting better.
Well, maybe they'll make a huge splashy Hunter Tyson trade to really cheer you up. We will get to that at the end. We will talk a little bit of trades and about the games for every team that we get to. I love the schedule gods for this. Cavs, Clippers. Darius Garland is on the Clippers. James Harden is on the Cavs. Neither of them played in this game, but I believe outside of Corey Kispert and TJ McCollum, the first trade deadline debutantes of the season, Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder suit up for the Cavs as they throttle the very shorthanded Zubac is out for personal reasons, and James Harden is on the Cleveland Cavaliers. LA Clippers, what did you see in this game?
I saw a Cavs team that was adjusting a little bit better to the absence of their point guard than a Clippers team. Hilarious theater. Donovan Mitchell was amazing. I really like what I've seen from Jalen Tyson and Jared Allen in this stretch. But the Clippers are just sad. Like this was a sad performance by them. They gave up 47 points on 24 turnovers. And when you score 91, the math ain't mathin' for you.
Yeah, we'll see how bad they end up being because Garland's hurt. When he returns, maybe they'll be halfway decent. But without Zoo and Harden, they're kind of dead on arrival. And I was interested to see how the Cavs would handle their guard rotation. Their key bench guys were Naquan Tomlin, Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder, Craig Porter Jr., and Keon Ellis. That's a small bench group, but Ellis can kind of do wingy things. He did his classic, like in the passing lane, steal stuff. Schroeder had 11 points. I'm quite high on Dennis Schroeder compared to the consensus, so I'm into where the Cavs are kind of headed for this season, but fascinating to see the reality that they are in. And they did make a trade, Ryan. They dumped Alonzo Ball on the Utah Jazz. That was the only trade of the day. Yesterday, you can go back for some Harden Garland coverage. What do you think of that? Don't you love some money cutting trades, Ryan?
I gotta love a good old salary dump. That's the key. And like I understand it with what the Cavs have been dealing with from a second apron perspective, but Lonzo's been bad for them. He's been unhealthy. It was the right fit for all parties, and maybe Lonzo can go sign a minimum contract in Charlotte and go play with LaMelo.
Maybe Lonzo and Tyus Jones can get traded for each other. Just figure that part out now.
Wow.
Get it over with. Yeah, it's very strange. Clippers did not do anything else besides that trade yet, so that's it for these two at the time. But keep an eye on the Cavs. They're very close to getting out of the second apron. That's always going to be very enticing for any team. Dean Wade or 2 minimum contract players, keep your eyes peeled. The Grizzlies, the new look kind of Grizzlies, which is funny because they are new looking that they don't have Jaren Jackson for the first time. He was very good in his last game for the Grizzlies. They're not new looking that none of their giant morass of players that have arrived from Utah played for them in this game yet, despite that trade becoming official. So no Walter Clayton, Kyle Anderson, and I cannot remember the other 2 players, unfortunately. Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks and whoever the 4th player is. I apologize. It's a veteran of some kind.
Don't matter.
Yeah, none of them played in this game, but the Grizzlies comeback win 40 fourth quarter points against the Sacramento Kings, who have traded away players. And DeAndre Hunter, another debutant, the only other one of the day. 26 minutes for him. Ryan, The Kings suck. That's 13 losses in a row. What'd you see? No, it's 10 losses in a row. Excuse me. What'd you see?
I want to point out the shot distribution for them. Sabonis had 18, Westbrook had 14, Devin Carter had 12 off the bench, DeAndre Hunter had 11, Malik Monk had 10, DeRozan had 10, Nick Clifford had 9, and Zach LaVine had 9. That does not seem like a coherent order. I will say that. That is a very odd distribution for a team that employs Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. I understand what they're trying to do, but like that, this was bad. They're facing a Memphis team that started Santi Aldama at center, and he was by far their biggest player at like 6'9", and they were disappointing again.
I caught a lot of the second half of this game. I apologize for the people that were like, hey, you idiot, DeAndre Hunter also debuted, and I did miss that. This game had some hilarity for me in that the Kings just couldn't stop a potted plant in the fourth quarter. It was really Ty Jerome who's back. Like, I do feel not bad. Like, the Grizzlies blew up their team. It was the right thing to do. It's really hard to get out of the middle when you've been there for a long time. But they didn't get Ty Jerome all year. And as bad as he was in the playoffs for the Cavs last year, that dude was balling for Cleveland last year during the season. You really wonder if they could have had enough offensive punch to have a much better record at this point in the season had he been playing all year. And these kind of games are why he can just wiggle around and get places on the court and hit shots in the paint. He made 7 twos in this game. He took 6 free throws, which was the second most on the Grizzlies behind. I can't believe I'm saying this, leading the Grizzlies in free throw attempts. Olivier Maxence Prosper was balling, and it makes you wonder what could have been for the Grizzlies, even though I believe they're doing the right thing because Cedric Howard is already pretty good. Zach Edey is trending in the right direction, right? Obviously, things look good for them, but the Kings are so depressing. And
I mean, yeah, they're super depressing. I'm not sure what Memphis is going to ultimately do. Like, it still feels like they are gearing up for a tank, and then we're going to have a lot of time to watch Walter Clayton and Zach Edey pick and rolls and Cedric Howard spacing and Jalen Wells doing stuff. So we'll see what they break it down into, but it'll be fascinating.
Sabonis was good. Sam Amick says they might end up keeping him through the trade deadline. That seems like a lack of interest to me. Thunder Spurs, Ryan. This game was wild because 10 standard contract players were out for the OKC Thunder, so they had to play all of their two-way guys. Chris Youngblood, Brooks Barnheiser, get out there, go make it happen. Brandon Carlson, make it happen. They actually were hanging tough. I caught the end of this one as well, and they were like down 6 in the fourth quarter, and Fox was at the time not playing the greatest, and the Thunder were awesome at the moment. Cason Wallace was getting whatever he wanted at that time. Kenny Hustle and Jalen Williams were both pretty good in this game, but you're just down too many guys. Like, I hate games like this where a team plays well and loses, and the reason they lost is just they were too hurt, and the Spurs were not. But that's what happened.
Yeah, sir. I'm certainly okay with OKC losing. That's not a problem for your boy over here. I'm just kidding. So
I want just losses, not just like that stinks. Like, your two-way guy was pretty good and you still lost.
Yeah, with Shea being out until the All-Star break, I think we might see OKC. And look, they've started to establish a little bit of a lead in the West again. They went through a pretty dull stretch, but the Spurs, they cut it to 4 in terms of 4 back in the loss column. We'll see if they can continue to push it. But Wemby, Fox, Vassell, Castle, you've got too much talent over there, and it's a little bit overwhelming. But I mean, Jalen Williams is great on the OKC side. Kenrich Williams was great. And as you mentioned, Cason Wallace, he's just very fun to watch defensively and did a lot of disruptive things.
Keldon Johnson, ballin', got to be a leading Sixth Man of the Year candidate. He led the Spurs in scoring. And the Thunder, look, you can say what you want about their lead in the West. The Pistons, who just got a pick swap, are actually sneakily close to the best record in the NBA. But the Thunder story of the day, maybe the most surprising, real trade and not just little tiny thing. Jared McCain, who was in the Rookie of the Year running last year from Philly to the Thunder. We can opine, but we'll let Locked On Sixers opine.
The Oklahoma City Thunder ensure they get 4 picks in return, a first and 3 seconds. But how does this make you better right now? I thought one of the things the Sixers were telling us during media day before the season started, before we flew to Abu Dhabi, and we're going to try to be as good as we can be this year. This doesn't do that. That's not the priority. The priority is ducking the tax. Even after the suspension of Paul George gave you a huge break from that, they still pushed it a little further, and they traded Jared McCain. Look, he's not a cornerstone piece of this franchise by any means. I think he's a nice player. He'll develop into a nicer player, not a perennial all-star by any means, but still a good player, and certainly a good player to have on this team. Can come off the bench, can knock down a 3 for you. I like what he brings to the table, but Literally, Joel Embiid just asked you, hey, don't duck the tax. Let's keep this together. And instead, the priority isn't being as good as you can be this season. It's ducking the tax.
I share the incredulous reaction to this as a way to get out of the tax, unless they just don't believe in McCain for some reason. Oh, good. He got traded to like the best development situation in the league. Just trade 2 minimums. Like, why? I don't get this for the Sixers.
I wonder if it's because if you're leaning into Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and you also have Quentin Grimes and you want to retain him, then they do have a lot of guard talent and a lot of guys that you think are going to play excess time. Their goal has to be to figure out their front court going forward. And then I wonder if this is a way to do that. Hey, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, would you rather have Jared McCain or in a Giannis trade or a first and 3 seconds?
Jared McCain.
Okay, well then they're probably
the proven decent player.
Yeah, that's fair. And like a young guy who you can already get in the door and help establish something for your fans going forward. I think that's fair.
And OKC, look at this, like a young shooter. Aaron Wiggins eventually going to come off the books for them. Isaiah Joe, they might not be able to afford them in their apron hell coming up. Okay, great. We have Jared McCain now for the Thunder. Okay, the Celtics didn't have Jaylen Brown, and Anthony Simons is gone, and they throttled the Rockets. What? And so much more trade stuff coming up as we continue here on Locked On NBA Game Night. But first, everybody, I got to tell you about 2 awesome groups of people. First up is Indeed. Hiring isn't just about finding somebody who will take the job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who can actually help your business move forward. And if you want candidates who match what you're looking for, Indeed sponsored jobs is the move. Because instead of hoping the right person stumbles across your post, Indeed helps you match with quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria like skills, certifications, and location. If you're hiring, you don't want just someone who can help. You want the right person with real experiences who can jump right in. Indeed helps you do that. Get specific and target exactly what you need. It saves you time and energy sorting through mismatches. And with sponsored jobs, your posts get seen by candidates who are actually a fit. Here's a stat that says it all. In this minute I've been talking to you right now, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed according to their data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show will get a $75 job credit to help you get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. And we also got to talk to you about TurboTax. Tax season is here, and you don't have to have it take over your life this year. They're making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert start to finish without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every day and every deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, get updates right in the app, and it's a huge time saver, giving you real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert did not file for you last year, just file by February 28th. So take taxes off your plate, get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. We are back here on Locked On NBA Game Night. Thanks for making us your first listen today and every single day. Your second listen, oh, dear Lord. Locked On Wizards, they have Anthony Davis now, I guess. Locked On Mavs, they don't have Anthony Davis now. Would be great places to start. I wish either of those teams played tonight so you and I could opine on the most out-of-nowhere, holy smokes, trade of the day. But hey, as we all suspected and talked about all season, Trey Young and Anthony Davis have linked up in the Eastern Conference. Okay, the Rockets, we're playing at home. Kevin Durant is playing. Alperen Sengun is playing. The Celtics are in town. Jaylen Brown is not playing. Anthony Simons is gone. Surely the Celtics can't score enough to win that game, right? Oh, wait. They blast the Rockets by 21 points. Peyton Pritchard's coming off the bench. Goofy new rotation for them, but they looked great winning this game in Houston. What'd you see?
Yeah, weird rotation. I was surprised to see Peyton Pritchard come off the bench, but it certainly didn't hurt him. 27 points, 7 assists, 1 turnover, excuse me. And what I really just saw was disappointing stuff from the Rockets. Like Derek White got going in the third quarter. He took 25 shots in this game, but a lot of those makes happened in the third when they're needed. Like the Rockets just needed to keep it close and they couldn't ultimately do it. But really disappointing offense from the Rockets overall. KD made his second shot in the middle of the third quarter. Alperen Sengun was pretty disappointing. Everything about the Rockets offense right now looks pretty weird. And this was against the Boston Celtics.
the Boston Celtics. Part of me wonders with Simons gone and they're just general, not like hurt, but without Brown too, if they are trying to just stagger White and Pritchard at the moment. They changed that rotation last game as well, which was a big shocker for them. So we'll see if they stick with that. Ron Harper Jr. getting the start in their guard rotation. Celtics, they made their trade already. Vucevic is their center. John Corrales of Locked On Celtics with more on this Celtics big win.
Guys available. No Jaylen Brown, no Sam Hauser. The Anthony Simons deal is still not official, so no Vucevic yet. And they just went into Houston and went up by almost 30 in the fourth quarter. I'm John Corrales from the Locked On Celtics podcast. How does this happen? Well, it starts with their defense, which was off the charts. They played incredible physical defense. Everything was on point. Their shifts, their switches, they were in the right spot. They made the right reads. The bigs just, Keita, Garza, I can't say enough about how they played, the way they defended. They were poking balls free. Everything was just perfect defensively for the Celtics. Then you get role player contributions. Ron Harper Jr. gets his first start and defended Kevin Durant really well. You got a good contribution from Baylor Shireman, who put up 15 points. And then you get the star stepping up, Derek White, who has been struggling with his shot on and off, but was incredible in this one, putting up 28 points. Peyton Pritchard back in his six-man role, playing like six-man of the year. He had 27 points. Everything came together. Now, did the Rockets get a little too comfortable because the Celtics were so shorthanded? Guarantee you that was part of it. But the Celtics pounced on it, and they took advantage of it and got an unexpectedly easy, great win in Houston. I'll be talking about it on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Maybe mental malaise is the answer, but I mean, this is the Rockets' kryptonite to me. Like, they are obviously good at what they do. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. 12 is like okay for them. The Celtics had more. Like, if the Rockets style doesn't just strangle the game, their half-court offense isn't good enough to win a lot. That's what happened tonight.
Yeah, they need to win with defense, the Rockets do, and they just weren't able to do that. They let the Celtics get away from them. And like, when the Celtics take 51 threes like they do, you better keep up on the other end. And the Rockets took 30. They didn't grab as many offensive rebounds as you would expect from a team like this. And overall, were just pretty disappointing. So it'd be interesting to see if they can bounce back.
At Rockets, trade for a guard. Okay, what a hilarious game. Bucks, Pelicans.
Ooh.
The battle of the swap, the best of swap going to Atlanta, the worst of swap with the Bucks. So the Bucks would really like to win this game. I guess it doesn't really matter to them. Miles Turner hits a three that looks like it could be the go-ahead shot late. He's just barely out of bounds. Trey Murphy gets an open cut to the rim for the game winner at the end of regulation. A good recovery from Ryan Rollins saves the day, and the Bucks get it by 4 in overtime in a very sad game between two teams at interesting crossroads as the Bucks figure out what to do with Giannis. The Pelicans claim that they're a playoff team in a report that's insane. What'd you see, and what the heck are these teams doing?
I mean, I saw 44 points from Trey Murphy. No wonder they're charging a Desmond Bane trade price for him. I would not a surprise. Yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic, and like just one of the more valuable archetypes that you could have in the entire NBA, that big shooting wing. But the Bucks shined. They found a way. Maybe there's some Ewing theory here without Giannis. 141
back-to-back wins.
I mean, I don't see any reason that would be wrong. But like, I mean, Kyle Kuzma had 9 assists. Kevin Porter came off the bench and had 9 assists himself. Like, this team's sharing the ball, 36 assists as a team. I mean, 21 made threes. What can go wrong?
Yeah, look, Ryan Rollins is just straight up good, and Trey Murphy set the Pelicans record for made threes in a game. Those are good players. They would have value to their current teams or other teams. Flex will be the center of attention. You never really hear much about that Giannis guy these days, do you, Ryan? I mean, I'm glad you brought him up because I haven't read his name. According to my phone, his name is Yanni''S, which drives me crazy. Look, the Pelicans lose to a bad Bucks team on a back-to-back. The Pelicans were trying. The Pelicans don't have their pick. They are trying to win games, and they cannot. And Jake Madison from Locked On Pelicans, not super happy with the performance of the New Orleans Pelicans.
Front office believes they have a playoff caliber team here. New Orleans loses to the 19-29 Milwaukee Bucks in overtime, who, by the way, still don't have Giannis. I'm Jake Madison, host of Locked On Pelicans. Did I mention that the Bucks are also on the second night of a back-to-back? That the Pelicans' biggest offseason acquisition in Jordan Poole glued to the bench in a close game. It's all bad here in New Orleans. Defense, non-existent. They gave up 147 points. Execution from your key guys, Zion Williamson. 2 offensive fouls, including one on the final possession in overtime where the Pelicans could have tied the game. But hey, he played over 37 minutes. That part's cool, I guess. Trey Murphy had 44 points. I need to go yell over at Locked On Pelicans. See y'all later.
A valid response. Zion's offensive foul stunk. They had a chance to tie it late. Trey Murphy deserved a chance to do so. Sadiq Bey is actually their prize acquisition, if you ask me. He's been better than Poole for them. But yeah, a DNP CD for Jordan Poole the day before the trade.
Who do you think has more trade value right now between Zion Williamson and Sadiq Bey?
That's not a shot. Sadiq Bey's contract is expiring, so the answer is Zion, but not by that much, man. Sadiq Bey is sneaky.
It's been great.
He's like one of the worst players who actually tangible change the playoff race level of equity if traded. Oh, but the Pelicans, they think they're a playoff team. They're certainly going to keep him. The Timberwolves won in Toronto for the first time since Ryan and I were like single-digit years old. The Knicks, double overtime against the Nuggets. Not a lot of trades for those teams of super exciting consequence, but we'll talk about all of them to close out today's Locked On NBA Game Night. But first, everybody, let me talk to you about FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL officially comes to a close for this season. It's Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, this is the game everyone's been waiting for. This is where predictions turn to plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you're a new customer, bet just $5. Get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. We're back here on Locked On NBA Game Night. Thanks for making us your first listen today and every single day your second listen. Anthony Davis was the best player traded on this Wednesday. The second best player was who, Ryan? Who would you say?
Oh, I mean, actually, that's a great question. Who would be the second best player?
Yeah, I didn't actually prep that answer. I should have known. Lots of trades were made. If any of them are of interest to you, go check out that Locked On show. The Kings are keeping Sabonis. He would have been among the best guys traded, I suppose. It's not.
Jonathan Kuminga, Kristaps Porzingis.
Yes, that's a big one. I'm so glad the Kuminga sweepstakes are over. Yes, Locked On Hawks or Locked On Warriors for more on that. The Timberwolves had not won in Toronto in 22 years. LeBron James was a rookie. Holy cow. Wow. An insane streak. And the Raptors were up huge in this game, double digits for much of the night. But Ant-Man and the Wolves, who needed a good vibes win, they're not playing bad, but they had a losing streak recently. Get it done. Ant was great. Their whole starting five was great. A display for a team reportedly trying to trade for Giannis, Ryan. The Raptors have one win against the top teams in the league, against playoff teams. They are very good at beating bad teams and very not good at beating good teams yet. I don't know what to make of them. What do you make of this game?
I make of Toronto as a good but not great team. That I think that stat is a great one for how many actual great teams that they have.
Let me find the exact wording. I read that earlier, but continue.
Yeah. Toronto shot 48% from three and lost. I thought that Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickley had great games. Brandon Ingram had a normal Brandon Ingram game, which is like, hey, he made a lot of jumpers and he took a lot of jumpers. But Ants made his first three, missed his next 7, but it did not matter because he still got to the line of fair amount and had 30 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, or 1 block. They're going to need him a lot, but I mean, the T-Wolves, they were down 18 in the third quarter, and they chipped away, huge from Bones Highland and Naz Reid.
Okay, top 10 in the NBA in net rating. The Raptors 1-12 against those teams this season. Brutal for them. They're not a bad team. I think they deserve the record that they have, but they need to flex one. And the Wolves get it done in Canada, baby. How about that? I'll be fascinated to see what the Wolves do, because don't get me wrong, maybe they're just ducking the tax, which shame. If you're trying to compete, just dumping Mike Conley to duck the tax is shame, but I'm certainly suspicious of that move just kind of happening out of nowhere and then swapping their first, but we'll see what actually happens. Locked On Wolves host Ben Beacon will have more about this game.
To avoid a losing streak after a disappointing loss last time out, I'm Ben Beacon, host of the daily Locked On Wolves podcast, and this was an important win With trade rumors swirling around the Timberwolves, virtually every player on the roster except for Anthony Edwards could be gone in a potential Giannis Antetokounmpo trade if it does happen. And the Wolves played like they were thinking about trade rumors. The defense was horrendous in the first half, down by 12 points at halftime. They gave up 72 first half points. They were down by as many as 18 in the second half, 10 starting the fourth quarter. And it was the bench that initially started the comeback in the fourth quarter. Despite how bad the defense was, it was big shots from Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo. And then down the stretch, it was Anthony Edwards. Despite having a pretty quiet and relatively, we'll call it inefficient start to the game, Ant was awesome down the stretch. He had 3 steals in the final 3 minutes, buckets to close the game, and the Wolves ended up beating the Raptors by 2.
Fart noise, no minutes at all for Rob Dillingham. They're running out of games for Johnny Juzang on his two-way. He's actually a halfway decent player. Again, I'm keeping an eye on the Wolves doing at least something, one more thing on deadline day. Maybe it's something small like dumping Leonard Miller to get a spot for Juzang. We'll see what's up with them. The last game of the day, Ryan, you were very intimate with this one because you watched the Nuggets. Double overtime. Knicks win by 7 in the Garden against the Nuggets. It could have been very fun for Jamal Star Murray to go crazy in a double OT win in the Garden and kind of have not that he doesn't have signature games. I watched him score 50 with my own eyes this season, but a moment like that, and they lose. What happened?
Yeah, they could not get enough stops first and foremost, but this was a story I think about an injured team that was on the second night of a back-to-back, trying to figure out minute restrictions and things like that. Peyton Watson goes down in the game. Spencer Jones goes down in the game. He is out of two-way contract eligibility, so they need to convert him with haste. They're already out of Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, so their forward room was just completely decimated against a Knicks team that has some pretty good forwards on it. So I don't know. It was a tough one. Denver they lost 3 in a row, but they've lost them to the first team in the West, the first team in the East, and the second team in the East. So it's a little grain of salt there.
Acceptable losses if painful. Ryan, I don't know if you heard or if anyone knows, Jalen Brunson is very good. Good. That dude can even on nights when he takes 11 free throws, if he gets them ethically, like that dude takes 27 shots and earns all of them. He can slither on the court. He can get to his spots. He can flip in a floater from anywhere. And the Knicks I've kind of felt weird about the way they've kind of just like tried to figure out their bench all year. They didn't have Josh Hart tonight. Mitchell Robinson comes off the bench, but they got real contributions from a lot of those guys that have kind of played confusing roles, right? Mitchell Robinson was very good. Jordan Clarkson scored 11 points. Landry Shamit's been awesome for them recently. He wasn't efficient, but he poured in points and played 36 minutes, right? That has really turned their season around as much as them changing their defense to be more of a no-middle situation has. And you feel for the Nuggets. Ryan, the trades for these teams so far, it's Gershon Yabusele for Dalen Terry straight up in the world's most shrugged trade ever. That's financially motivated. For the Knicks, I'm surprised the Bulls did that for no picks, but Yabusele could be decent for them. He was
surprised the Bulls do any trades, if I'm being honest.
Yo, who was on the Bulls? They've done so many things with the back of their team. I'm like, if you did like a Sporkle quiz right now, and was like, who's on the Chicago Bulls right now? I would probably get like 7 players. It's crazy.
They're in a tough place, but I know you're going to Nuggets will probably not make any major moves unless they convert Spencer Jones and they have to free up a roster. Well, they actually don't have to free up a roster spot in order to do that, but they do have to duck the luxury tax.
Yes.
Hold
on. They don't have to duck the luxury tax.
I know.
It would be very smart of them to do so. I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks did something else of maybe not major consequence, but something small. They still can't even add another player till like late March with their apron situation. But yes, I would say from the time of us talking right now, the most likely trade in the entire NBA on deadline day is Hunter Tyson traded from the Nuggets to some other team. So it hasn't happened yet. We can't talk about it. No one really cares, but that is among the most likely trades in the entire NBA right now.
Yeah. Open secret that Denver probably going to try to finagle their way out of some salary situation, but that's been out there for months and months and months.
And that's, folks, is the last night before everybody makes their trades. Locked On NBA Game Night. What a fun night for us to do it, Ryan. We'll be back next week, kind of the last games before the All-Star break. Looking forward to it. Locked On NBA and Game Night right in this feed. Plus, if you have a favorite team in the NBA, there's a Locked On show for you breaking down either if they played or the trade that they've made this week. And they have an Everydayer Club for an ad-free version and a Discord chat. Locked On Nuggets crushing it in the Discord, so you can keep up with fans of your favorite team, and there's a national chat in there as well. Links in the descriptions for all that. Thank you all so much for tuning in and rocking with us today. We will see you very soon.